The galaxy was in chaos. The once proud empire of the Exthorians had conquered countless planets and wiped out entire species in their unrelenting quest for dominance. Humanity, the last hope of the free races, had been pushed to the brink of extinction. On a small, forgotten space station hidden on the outer edges of the galaxy, a single human cryopod remained. Inside it, General Sarah Darnell, the last remaining leader of Earth's military, lay in suspended animation. She had volunteered for the Cryo sleep program decades ago, knowing that the battle for survival would one day fall to her. But that day had never come. Years passed, and the Exthorian forces continued to tighten their grip on the galaxy. Other species had fallen, but humanity was still seen as a dangerous, elusive force. Earth, however, was lost, its cities reduced to rubble, its population scattered across distant, dying colonies. The hope of humanity's return had dimmed. The Exthorian High Command had all but forgotten about the general and the cryopod. They had their sights set on new conquests and schemes, and the war was no longer their primary concern. The rebellion had been crushed, the last known resistance leaders either dead or missing. But they made one fatal mistake. They underestimated the resilience of humanity. On the eve of what was supposed to be their final victory, an alert rang through the dark corridors of the old space station. A faint signal had been detected, one that had been dormant for many years. The cryopod that held General Sarah Darnell had activated. The ancient systems whirred to life, responding to the need for power. The station's AI, long neglected, blinked back into action. It began the long and complicated process of waking the general. Sarah's eyes fluttered open, the harsh lights above blinding her at first. She could feel the cold of the cryo chamber surrounding her, but it wasn't the same kind of cold she remembered. It was different now, distant, almost alien. Her senses gradually returned as the chamber's systems worked to bring her body to full function. Her muscles ached from the prolonged inactivity, but her mind was sharp. She had trained for this moment, knowing that one day she would awaken to find a galaxy that had lost its way. And now, that day had come. The voice of the station's AI echoed in her ears, the mechanical tones somehow soothing. General Sarah Darnell, you have been awakened. The galaxy is at war. All hope seems lost, but your awakening is the last hope of your people. How shall we proceed? Sarah took a deep breath, her first in what felt like an eternity. She stood from the cryopod, her boots clanging on the metal floor, her fingers flexed, and she could already feel her power returning. The cryo sleep might have slowed her down, but it hadn't broken her. How long have I been out? She asked, her voice rough but filled with determination. Approximately 62 years, the AI responded. The Exthorian Empire has crushed most forms of resistance. Humanity is scattered across remote colonies, and Earth is lost. The last known human stronghold was on Epsilon 3, but it has since fallen. Sarah's heart sank for a moment, but then a fire ignited within her. She wasn't one to mourn the dead. The war wasn't over. Not yet. Give me control of the station's weapon systems, she ordered. Affirmative, General. Weapons are now under your command. The station's AI, now responding to her authority, revealed a map of the galaxy. She studied it carefully, her mind working quickly. The Exthorian Empire had spread far and wide, but Sarah knew that no empire was invincible. The Exthorians were powerful, but they had a weakness, overconfidence. And that would be their downfall. We'll start with a series of hit-and-run tactics, she declared. We'll strike their supply lines and communications networks. We'll make them believe that humanity is not as extinct as they thought. We'll ignite the spark of resistance again. The AI processed her orders, quickly running simulations of potential targets and strategies. Sarah knew that she didn't have the luxury of time. If she waited too long, the Exthorian Empire would crush any hope of human survival. Within days, General Darnell had managed to rally a small fleet of human ships. They were old and battered, remnants of the war that had nearly destroyed them, but they were still powerful. With the element of surprise on their side, the humans launched their first strike against an Exthorian supply ship. The battle was swift. The Exthorian forces, unprepared for an attack from the humans, were overwhelmed. The humans knew how to fight in a way that the Exthorian Empire never could have anticipated. They fought not for glory, but for survival. That gave them an edge the Exthorians couldn't understand. After the victory, Sarah addressed her crew. "This is just the beginning," she said, her voice resolute. "We'll keep hitting them, making them doubt their strength. The galaxy will know that humanity isn't finished." The news of the human victory spread like wildfire across the galaxy. The oppressed species, the ones who had been crushed under the Exthorian boot, began to rise up. They saw the first glimmer of hope they had in decades, and they rallied behind the human general. Over the next few months, Sarah and her fleet continued to wage a guerrilla war against the Exthorians. Slowly, they regained control of key planets. The tide was turning. But the Exthorian Empire wasn't going to let humanity rise without a fight. They sent their best fleet to crush the humans once and for all. But Sarah was ready. She had a plan. The final battle took place in the heart of Exthorian space, a last-ditch effort by the Exthorian Empire to eliminate the threat once and for all. But they underestimated the resolve of the human general. Sarah led the charge with tactical brilliance, using every advantage she had to outmaneuver the Exthorian fleet. As the battle raged on, the Exthorian ships began to fall, one by one. The humans, fighting with everything they had, proved to the galaxy that they were not to be underestimated. The Exthorian Empire, once thought invincible, began to crumble. In the end, the victory was theirs. As Sarah stood on the bridge of her ship, watching the remnants of the Exthorian fleet retreat, she allowed herself a rare moment of reflection. It had been a long road to this point, but humanity had proved something the universe would never forget. They weren't just survivors, they were fighters. They would never stop fighting. "General," the AI spoke, "you've done it. Humanity has regained its place in the galaxy." Sarah smiled. "This is just the beginning. As long as there's breath in our bodies, humanity will never be lost." And with that, she turned to face the stars, ready to lead her people into a new era.